Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is Dr. Jan Portman with Relationship Matters TV. I hope everyone is having a beautifully blessed morning, afternoon, or evening. And before I start this episode, I just want everyone who's watching to send prayers out to the people who are in Florida and in North Carolina, in Georgia, wherever that hurricane hit, both Helene and Melvin. So we are sending collective prayers to you, and especially to the ones who have lost people, and of course to the ones who've lost just about everything. You start thinking about what it would be like to just lose everything, your home, all of your belongings, friends, family. So it's hard to fathom. It's really terrible. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to have a conversation about something that I'm going to do like this, that has to do with our hearts. We are going to have a conversation about love and our relationship. So, who do I have? I have a special guest, and let me tell you a little bit about him. His name is Anil Gupta, and I Gupta. So let me tell you a little bit about him. He is an expert, an international world renowned expert on relationships. He has helped singles and couples overcome the daily struggles and challenges to allow them to have healthy, successful, loving, and fulfilled lives. He has performed his relationship and mindset workshops in over 18 countries, translated into 8 languages, with audiences of over 10,000 people. So now, if you want to have a dramatic impact on your life, then tonight or this morning, this afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, you are in the right place. He is the CEO of Love and the breakthroughs that make it possible. So I want to bring on right now Anil Gupta. Hello, Anil. I cannot hear you. I don't know because I could hear you earlier when we were speaking. What happened? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Wow. Now, he is in Florida, people. Uh, and I don't know if something has happened. So, Anil, maybe go out and come back in. Maybe that'll help. Okay. I'm reading your lips, but I still can't hear you. It's kind of weird. So, we were having a conversation, you know. Wow. Okay. You know what? Technology is wonderful when it works. When it works. So hopefully he can get back in. But he is in Florida, and fortunately he just had a little rain. So let me bring him back on.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so
Wonder
much.
what happened.
It's technical. We're in Florida, so it could be anything.
Right. And that's very, very true. Very, very true. So we have someone who wants to tell you hello. Her name is Margaret Lance, and Margaret is all the way from Scotland.
Wow, it must be 1 a.m. there.
Uh-huh. And she wants to know all about love. So,
Is it?
Anil, so I want to start off with this. What made you, this is my question. Other questions to come in, but this is my question. What made you decide that you wanted to become the love doctor?
Well, as happens in many instances in life, we never decide, it happens for us. So
Okay.
it's not something that I'd ever thought of. I used to be a doctor of optometry, but this is the furthest thing that I would ever think about. I remember at university they had a class on communication. And I thought, what? Why do we need this? I'm never going to be a public speaker. I'm never going to do this or that. But we never know where life takes us. What happened was that I started doing events. People would ask me, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I would give them some advice, and they would say, "Oh, that was magical. It worked." I said, "Of course it worked. It's obvious." But it was obvious to me, and I thought, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I remember a time Tony Robbins said to me, "Anil, you should be a coach." I thought, what does he know? He's the coach. What am I? But he saw a greatness in me that I didn't see in myself. And that's often the case. Our spouses, our children have so much greatness in them. We see it, but they don't always see it. So I started doing events, 5 people, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000 people. So I thought, this is interesting. So it really started from there. And it's all about results. People want to know, can you help me? Yes, I can. How do you know? Because I've done it thousands of times. My father had an operation yesterday, and the
Oh,
surgeon said, I've done hundreds of these. So it gives you that peace of mind. So there's
oh,
nothing I haven't heard. There's nothing I won't be able to help you with. And if there's any questions the audience has, I'd be happy to help them.
okay. So now, do you work mostly with married couples, or so? In other words, is your relationship coaching? Um, does it focus mainly on, as I'd say, personal relationships, love relationships? Maybe with more so with married couples, or more so single people who are trying to find love.
You see, it's the same dynamics for both. It's a law of the universe. So I help singles find their partner without dating, because dating is stupid. When people date, you have two people on stage, each trying to be the best version of themselves, each trying to get to the next date and the next date and the next date. And you never get to know the real person because they're just not being authentic. They're actors. And unfortunately, sometimes you'll meet an A-list actor who could be a narcissist, alcoholic, on drugs, have so many issues, and you'll never find out until 10 years, 20 years into a marriage. So what if you could have a 90% success rate, a 95% success rate without dating, and find the ideal partner? How amazing would that be? And the reason relationships fail is this: people say yes to a relationship and then decide that it's not working for them. Then they say it's a no. And it's absolutely the wrong way. You wouldn't buy a house without doing your due diligence. You look at the appraisal, the location, the mortgage terms, the neighbors, everything, schools, roads, hospitals. You do your diligence, you make an informed choice. But most people meet someone, they meet eye to eye and think, oh my gosh, this is chemistry. And they want that romantic feel, but they don't know anything about the other person. And then all of a sudden they're going out, oh, I guess I'm in a relationship. But they haven't curated it. It just happened. But it's too important. You don't just happen to be a doctor. You practice and you practice and you take your exams and you curate it and create it. But relationships, people spend less time in a picking a relationship than picking a car or picking a house, and it's ludicrous.
So now I'm curious. How are you going to create a relationship if you're not, if you don't go on a date with someone? How do
Okay,
you know that this is the person? You know what I'm saying?
yes, a great question. So, Jan, do you have any friends?
Yes.
Okay, how did you meet them?
Well, in a lot of different ways. Some from working as a teacher, some as being a speaker. I met you at a conference with Dr. Fab. So a lot of different ways. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't go on a matching website to find friends, did you?
Well, to tell you the truth, and I'm going to be extremely transparent here, I met my husband. It wasn't, well, it was before they had online dating. It was through a newspaper ad.
Okay,
I
so
was
but the
dating.
question, no, that's fine. But the question was, did you meet any of your friends through a friend matching agency? No,
No,
you met
no.
them organically.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you get to know each other. Then you think, oh, he's a friend. She's a friend. Okay.
Okay.
There are three criteria you have to filter people through before you date. The first criteria is they have to have integrity. The second criteria is they must be loving. And the third criteria is they must um, be healthy emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Now, this is the same rule for friendships. It's the same rule for business partners. So if you filter people through those three criteria, then you can start dating. But I don't recommend dinners because there's too much pressure. Go for a walk, go for a coffee, go do something fun together where you don't have to act, where you don't have to posture. You can just be you, where you don't have to dress up. There's no alcohol involved, there's no pressure. This way, you get to pick rather than, hope, live on hopium.
So, okay. Let's say, of course, I'm married, so I'm not in the dating realm. I mean, I'm not in looking for love. So, wait a minute. That's the question. Do you look for love?
See, that's what people are trying to do, and then they're not being themselves. when 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 you're looking for someone with integrity and loving and healthy, you have to be that person too. So, if you were selling your house, you wouldn't just put it on the market. You would work on it first, clean it
Okay.
up, tidy it up. So before you are looking for a partner, you have to work on yourself. What's things you have to change? Who do you need to forgive? What do I need to let go of? Do I need to get healthier? Do I need to get fitter? Do I have to get mentally stronger? So that's the thing you have to do. And then meet people. You have to not necessarily look for love, but you just have to be aware, go out there and meet people. You didn't go out searching for friends, did you? They just happened because you were out there. That's all you have to do. Then it's a being, not a doing. And then when you meet someone like that, you'll immediately know that could be a possible partner for me. Then you start the process.
Okay. So let's say I'm just, like I'm at a conference. Okay. And I meet someone and like you say, we just might have a conversation, go for a walk, decide that, we want to become friends. How do I know that this person is not acting and does have integrity and all of the things that I would want in a relationship? Because like you said, there are some A list actors out there.
It's
And
such a great
I
question.
know women who have come across A-list actors, have married them, or had a relationship, a real personal, intimate relationship with them. And as time went on, that acting, I guess it was like, okay, it's too hard to keep this up, and they become who they really are. But and it's a couple of girlfriends, they were fooled.
Yeah. So this is really a great question. What you have to do is collect data and you have to stress test them and ask quality questions and keep on asking questions. So let's role play. You be let's reverse it. You be the man and I'll be the lady.
Okay.
So John, I hope you don't mind, but I ask a lot of questions. Does that bother you?
No. If I'm the man,
Great.
probably yes. But I'll say no, it's not gonna bother me.
Okay, good. So on your profile, you said you love dogs.
Hmm. Yes,
How
I
many
do.
dogs do you own?
I have one dog, a cute little dog.
And what type of dog is it?
It's a miniature German Shepherd.
Okay. And what's your favorite dog breed?
That's what it is, a German Shepherd. I like them.
Okay. And how many dogs have you had in your lifetime?
3.
Okay. What was your favorite?
Oh, I think the favorite was Jamie.
Okay. Now, if he's read your profile, end of role play, if he read your profile and he said you love dogs and you ask him that question, oh, I don't have a dog. And then you ask him, what's your favorite breed? Oh, I don't know. You know he's lying.
Okay. So ask
So,
questions.
yeah.
Ask questions. So
Okay.
there's a comment I want to bring up here. Margaret says qualities in the person you want to connect with and shared interests. So this is the kind of person that you would want. And then she also said, have a chat, conversation, shared interest. It depends on what you want in a relationship.
So would Margaret like to join the conversation?
Okay, Margaret, you want to join the
Yeah.
conversation? Wait,
People
knowing
pay me
Margaret, it's 1 o'clock
a
in the morning.
ton
She
of,
probably has on her pajamas.
yeah, but the thing is, Margaret, you're going to get thousands of dollars worth of coaching and you're going to get so much clarity. It's much easier if I talk to you rather than communicate by text. Because
Okay, let's
it's
see. Now,
you don't have to show your face. It doesn't really matter. Okay.
okay.
So, Margaret, are you single or married?
Well, I know Margaret is married. I can answer that because she's been on before.
Okay, so let her come on.
Okay, so I wait a minute. Where can I bring her? I would have to send her the link.
Okay. So,
But in, yeah,
okay. And what's
and
your
that's
biggest
gonna,
struggle in the marriage?
let's see. I'm gonna
We have to
while
be, I
she's
want to be very specific so that I can give her the best value.
okay. So while she's probably typing, I'll have to send her the link through WhatsApp because I don't know. Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't know how to send her the link through here. To tell you the truth,
I
this is
think there's a
something.
way to invite her.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Oh, oh, someone else said something. Wow. She's okay. Hold on. Let me invite. Copy. Okay. So wait a minute. Oh,
You should be able
here
to
I can do it.
click.
Okay. I know. I know how to do it now. I
Okay.
know how to do it. Let me put it in my in the chat. Oh, geez, that's a. I put a whole bunch of. Okay, Margaret, you can click on any one of those links, and you will be able to come in. So that's the link, and you'll be able to come in. But in the meantime, while she's clicking on the link, Lori Trinette Adams says you can only find out so much. There are other realities that were surfaced, i.e., old wounds, etc. How do you
Yeah.
move through those issues? So, I because we're waiting for Margaret.
Okay. So, Laurie, that's a really great question. Again, let's role play. Dr. Jan, you be the male and I'll be the female. So,
Okay.
John, what was your worst relationship?
My worst relationship was, oh, I'm the man, with a woman who just tried to control and wanted to be with me every day, all day, every moment. She was just taking up too much of my time.
Wow, it looks as though she was smothering you.
Yes, she was smothering. I do not like women who smother you.
And, John, by any chance, is she a stalker now?
No, she's not a stalker now.
And she's totally out of your life?
She's totally out of my life.
How do you feel about her?
How do I feel about her? Actually, I have no more feelings about her. She's out of my life.
Okay, so that can't possibly be your worst relationship.
So why do you say that?
Well, because she's out of your life, you're not bothered by it, and you've let her go. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I'm sure there's someone that's hurt you in the past.
Oh yeah.
Who's hurt you the most?
Oh, let's see. There was this woman that I was going to marry, and at the last minute, she called it off.
No. Oh my God, that must have been a devastating for you.
It was devastating.
Wow. How did your family feel about that?
They said good riddance.
Really?
Yes.
But I mean, there's the reason you wanted to marry her. What was the reason?
Well, I thought that we had shared interests, and we got along very well together. We communicated very well together, and I fell in love.
That's so beautiful. So you must have felt betrayed.
Yes, I did. I felt very betrayed.
And is she still in your life?
No.
How do you feel about her?
um, let's see. What can I say? How do I feel about her? Um,
Say
it's hard
something
for me.
negative.
It's hard for me to forgive her.
Oh, okay. And when was this?
This was 5 years ago.
Okay. So do you think you have any trust issues?
Probably.
Okay. I appreciate you being honest. Is there anything you would like to ask me?
So how do I find? Okay, so that's two women that you made me speak about. One smothered me, and the other one, um, uh, what you can say, betrayed me.
Betrayed
So
you.
to speak. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I'm
So
giving the
how do I
man the
find a
opportunity.
woman? How do I find a woman that's not like either of those women?
Well, one of my biggest gifts is that I'm totally faithful. I'm loyal. I will never cheat on you. I would never lie to you. I would never dishonor you or disrespect you. I give you my word. My integrity is everything. And I believe that you should have your freedom. I should have my freedom. I should be able to do what I love to do, and you do what you love to do. And then when we're together, we have a marvelous time. I really advocate for that.
And that's what she said. The one that betrayed me,
Okay.
the one that
Well,
left.
Well, obviously, she lied, but I would never lie to you. You can ask me any question, and I promise you, I will not lie to you.
Okay. So tell me about your last relationship.
The last one, we were together 4 years, and he was such a beautiful man, but you know, he was just so focused on his family. He was a mother's boy, and I just, I just couldn't compete. And he's a beautiful man. Whoever marries him is a lucky man, but I just didn't see it working, and I didn't want to go through years and years of you know, him being manipulated by his mum. And obviously, he loves his mum so much, and I didn't want to destroy that relationship. So we ended amicably. Obviously, I don't speak to him because I think it would be out of integrity if I kept speaking to him and then speaking to another woman. But he was a beautiful man, and I wish him all the best. Or I could say, oh, he was this, he was that. I could complain about him, and that gives you data about who I am. Because if I'm complaining about someone, it's data. So, Laurie, can you see how quickly I got into that? Don't be afraid to ask questions, and always preface it by, "Do you mind if I ask questions?" And if he gets annoyed, that means he's not telling the truth, because he said that you could, and when you did, he didn't like it.
Okay. So here comes Margaret. Hey,
Hey,
Margaret, but we
Margaret.
can see your picture. And you're on mute. Okay.
Hey, Margaret. I just put Scotland on my bucket list.
Mm. Hello.
What are you doing up so early?
Okay, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yep.
hear. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
Margaret, what's your one of the challenges you have in your married life?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
He said,
Yeah.
"What are the challenges you have in your married life?"
Oops.
He said, "Oops."
I wouldn't like talk about challenges because at the beginning it's been about communication, and I believe that communication has been key in our relationship.
You're absolutely right. Communication is everything. So,
And
Margaret, do you know what men want?
well, you can only know what men want if you communicate with them. There's no perfect relationship. And if you have this honest and open communications, then you will understand it's not that everything is going to be your way. There are things that you, as I said, there's shared interest. There are, you don't walk into a relationship to change anybody, but you're walking in a relationship to say, I am an individual, you're meeting an individual. There are things that you may not agree upon, but you can have honest and open communications, because the scale of love or relationship is never balanced.
Okay.
But
Do you
you
believe
find, yeah.
do you believe relationships should be 50-50?
I don't think it can ever be 50-50. That's why I talked about not being balanced, but having those communication, having the open and honest communication means that there are things that you may not agree, there are things that you can compromise, and there are things that you can have open and honest communication about. If
Okay.
I like football and my husband doesn't, there are times that oh, he can just watch football with me, or I can watch football with him because that's what he likes. And I can just be there to watch it with him and, accept. If I don't like walking and he does, sometimes we can talk about, oh, just try it.
So, Margaret, men want to be respected above love. Women want to be loved above respect. So, if you don't, not you, but if women don't respect their man, they will eventually find someone else, and
Well,
vice
I,
versa.
I can I well, I think that depends on the individual. When it comes to love, I would say that you start loving yourself. Don't go and find someone to come and love you, because that love starts with you. You got to love yourself and not go find
Absolutely.
someone to love you and make you happy. So
Absolutely.
it's got to be that shared interest.
Yeah.
You can
So,
actually help somebody to like what you like. There are techniques that you can use to help your partner to like what you like, to support you in what you like.
absolutely. So, Margaret, I appreciate all the beautiful words you say. I totally agree. Now, with Laurie, do
So
you see how quickly we got deep into the conversation about the worst relationship, how deep we got into the matter without wasting time? So just be very open in communication and just be collecting data. We have to collect data. We have to collect as much information as the other person as we can so that we can make an informed decision.
Hmm.
I agree.
Hmm. I
Okay,
do.
Anil, you did something and now we can't hear you.
Who? You can't hear me? Oh,
I can hear you, Margaret. No, Anil went out again. Anil is in Florida, and in Florida, they have had extremely bad weather, hurricanes and all. So, Anil, say something. Can't hear you. Yeah. So, because he's there, and it's horrible. Uh, his sound went out. It went out earlier, and it came back. So, anyway, so Margaret, he went out, and then he's going to come back in. And so there are others on here who I see, Kimberly, whose names I can't see.
okay.
I see others, but names I can't see. But I see Kimberly, and I see Maxine. Do you all have any questions until Anil can get back? I hope he can get back. Can you remove Margaret? Okay, so Margaret,
Yep.
he asked me to remove you so that he can come back in. Oh no, he's here.
Okay.
Hey,
That's
hold
good.
on. Okay, wait, hold on. Are you back, Anil?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Okay. You
Thank you.
still want me
Thank
to
you,
remove
Margaret.
Margaret?
Yeah, so thank you, Margaret. If we can bring up Laurie, that would be great.
Okay.
So men
Laurie,
above,
do you want to come in? Just type either yes or no. So she's not
yeah, that's
answering.
fine. So
Okay.
men value respect over love, and women make this mistake. They think men want love.
Oh, Minda. Oh, she
Women,
says okay, so she says no. She doesn't want to come in.
okay, that's fine. Women,
Wait a minute, Anil. What did you just say?
men value respect over love. but women think their men want love. Men think their women want respect. They don't know. But if you give your partner, women partners, love, and your male partners respect, and we talked about 50-50. It's never 50-50. It's 100-100. And Dr. Jan, I know that you make your partner your number one priority. When you make your partner your number one priority, they will never, ever leave you. I've been married 36 years, 1 month, and 6 days. And there's never a thought of my
Wow.
wife leaving me or me leaving my wife. None.
I mean, wow. I mean, the fact that you said the years and the days, that's pretty good.
Well, I talk every day about this. So tomorrow will be 7 days, and the next day will be 8 days. So it's not something I don't forget. But it's communication. It's not what you say; it's how you say it. Women are very sensitive to tone. Men are very sensitive to tone. It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Yes. And you see, Kimberly said women also want to feel secure.
Well, they want to feel safe. They want to feel heard. They want to feel loved. They want to be seen. They want words of affection, touch, whatever particular woman wants. But if a woman feels unsafe, if she doesn't feel heard, it's a big problem.
That is so. Let me ask this. Well, first, Margaret did make another comment. She said respect is important in a relationship, and communication is also important. And she agrees with Kimberly about, and you about feeling secure. So this is what I want to know too. Like you say, women like to be heard, and so what happens when there are two different kinds of love languages? What that does that is that very important in relationships?
Well, the thing is, if you know the other person's love language and they know yours, if you serve them in the way that they want to be served and they serve you in the way you want to be served, it's never going to be a problem. The other thing women dislike immensely is they don't want to be fixed. Men like to fix, women don't like to be fixed. The other issue is this: women want their man to be present. They don't want him to be distracted. They want him to be there when they want them to be there. So they want that attention, not all of the time, but when they want it, they want it.
Very
So
true.
if you know these distinctions, you can not only enhance the marriage, but you can add more years to your life and more life to your years, because you'll have more energy, more power, more communication. It's a beautiful end product. And guess what? Your kids benefit too, because they see a beautiful relationship. And, my daughter used my formula. She married her first boyfriend. She brought him home and she said, "Dad, what's the score out of 10?" I said, "Honey, I'm not happy. I taught you this formula and you bring this guy home and I'm not happy." So she started tearing up. She said, "What do you mean, Dad?" So what's the score? I said, "Honey, it's a 12 out of 10.
A 12 out of 10. Okay.
She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He's amazing. He's a success story. Of course, you should marry him tomorrow."
Oh, wow.
Because she used the formula and she kept on saying no to people until she found a yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's no drama, there's no trauma, there's no baggage, none, zero, de nada. Most people have 8 to 10 relationships before they get married. And when they get married, they're thinking, "I wonder if this is the right one." They don't know. They're just guessing. But with the formula, the Smart Select system, they can have almost a 95% success rate because they've done the checks. They've got the due diligence. They've stress tested. They've collected all the data. And Dr. Jan, it's a game changer.
I hope that there are a lot of single women, especially, watching. And if they're not watching tonight, just watching the recordings, and because they need now. How do they get the? Okay, yeah, Margaret, you asked the question that I was getting ready to ask. She says, "What is the formula?" And how can they get the formula? You have the
I have
formula.
I shared the formula. Any partner that you choose must have integrity.
Okay.
They must be their word. They must do what they say they're going to do and say what they're going to do. They must not gossip, must not lie, must not be dishonest. They must be loving, not just to you, but to everybody. So integrity, loving, and healthy is the third one. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Now, Dr. Jan, the beautiful thing about this formula is you can go back on a previous relationship that didn't work and stress test it against this formula. And I promise you that the score will be a 0 out of 3 or a 1 out of 3.
Wow.
It just takes away all the emotion because people get emotional. And another thing, Dr. Jan, imagine and I can imagine this, you're a 28-year-old beautiful soul. A man comes up to you and you kind of like him, you get on well. And he says, Dr. Jan, I'd love to take you out to dinner. Can I have your number? Most women would give their number. And I tell people, never, ever give your number away. Because as soon as you give your number away, you're giving the power to the man. And then you're
Really?
sitting around hoping he'd call. Oh my God,
Oh,
he hasn't called. He hasn't called. He hasn't called. He hasn't called. And then when he calls, you get so excited, but you've lost the power. He doesn't choose you. You choose him. And the type of guy that asks you for your number first time round isn't the type of guy you want to be with, because he could ask 10 or 20 or 30 women a week and hope for the best.
right.
Yeah, you want to keep away from those guys.
Right. So Kimberly wants to make sure she has everything. She says integrity, loving, healthy, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Did she leave out anything?
Mentally,
Oh, financially. Yeah.
mentally and financially.
Okay. Kimberly, add mentally and financially. Oh, wow.
Not that they have to be rich, but they have to be cognizant of how money works, and they don't have big credit card bills. They're not broke. They're not despondent around money. That they basically know how to manage finances. Spend less than they earn.
Okay, so now we've talked about what women want, and most of my viewers are women. What do men want? Now you have a whole list of things, but do men use the same formula, or is their formula different?
It's exactly the same. They're looking for a woman who has all of those things, but a man's needs are different. Uh,
Okay.
do you know a man's biggest fear? You know what it is?
Uh-uh.
So most people think it's commitment. I've
Okay.
been with this man 3 years and he's not marrying me. His issue is commitment. It's not commitment. A man's biggest fear is a loss of freedom. If he gets married, he's going to be tied down. He can't do the things he used to be able to do. And that's his biggest fear.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Was that your biggest fear, Keith? My husband sitting over there. Your loss of freedom. You thought you were gonna be tied down.
Not at that time. Earlier, probably when I was younger, yeah.
He said when he was younger. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I have more freedom being married because I don't have to look for someone. I can just be myself. The other day, I said to my wife, honey, I need to go to Italy for 3 weeks by myself because I need my time. I need to, work on myself. She said, great. And she said, do you mind if I go to Istanbul? I said, go, enjoy.
Okay.
It's freedom.
Okay.
She's in Detroit for that 7 days. I'm here in Orlando. It's freedom. She has freedom. I have freedom.
Okay.
It's a big
So,
thing.
so Margaret asked, would it be okay to say that some men go for fun while some women fall in love and get it all wrong?
So women tend to fall in love, and then they get emotional, they get attached, and it's a problem. Men like their freedom, whether it's going fishing, to a football game, out with their mates, it's freedom. Men hate being closed down. They hate being criticized. And they hate being disrespected.
Okay. What about constructive criticism?
Same thing. It depends how you say it. It depends on the tone. So you can ask, honey, do you mind if I ask you a question? I'm curious. Why did you do it that way and not that way? As opposed to, why didn't you do it that way? Why did you do it that way? You know?
Okay.
And then, you have to be careful of when to ask and how to ask and the tone.
That's communication. Yeah.
Communication. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can
It's
say
how
to your
you say
wife,
it.
you can say to your wife, honey, I love you. Or you can say to her, honey, I love you so much. Thank you for the many gifts you gave me. 2 beautiful kids standing by me when I was suicidal, supporting me in all my down days. If anyone tried to hurt you, I would kill them. Honey, I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's a different communication.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And as you say, women are emotional. That hits the heart. So wait, it's a question that came in here, a text. It asks, at what point do you ask a person about their loyalty to a person or purpose?
Okay. So again, that could be in the first time, second time you meet. Say, look, you said that you don't mind me asking questions. How important is loyalty to you? If they say, well, it's important, that's different to say, oh my God, Jan, loyalty is everything. I will never be disloyal to my friends. I will never be disloyal to my colleagues. I will never be disloyal to my family. Loyalty is everything. Loyalty is like integrity to me. You see, there's a different level. So, for example, we go to Starbucks and the barista gives us 1 cent too much change. What would you do?
You're supposed to give it back.
Obviously, but it's only 1 cent. But if someone says, Anil, whether it's 1 cent or $1 million, it's not your money. You always have to give it back. That just tells you how important it is. It's what they say and how they say it.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Anil, this time is going by so fast. So, what I want people to know is two things here. First of all, they can see you, get in contact with you, and I have this up on the screen. And for people who are just audio only, it's www.meetanil.com. So that's meet, MEET, Anil, ANIL.com. So those are for people who are audio only. And Instagram. Now that's a whole lot. But it's on the lower third. And so, you go to Instagram.com and it's Anil Gupta Love Doctor. And that's Anil Gupta, ANILGUPTALOVE Doctor, spelled out DOR. And he also has, let's see, can I get that on there? I got to get some of this up. Oh, there it is. You had a TEDx talk on
I have
YouTube.
a TEDx. I've got I've spoken in 18 countries, 8 languages, 4 continents. I've done TEDx, Fox News, Sky TV, Harvard, ABC, NBC, um, Fox News, Harvard. Um, I've coached people like Mike Tyson. Richard Branson's been to one of my events. I've been invited to meet the Dalai Lama a couple of times. I've met royalty, coached royalty, helped uh, government officials in many ways, because we have a duty to be the best version of ourselves, and it's not about us, it's about the difference that we make.
Definitely, definitely. And you have a book.
Yep, it's called Immediate Happiness. It's not a book, it's a manual on human behavior. Because
Oh,
we were never given a manual when we were born. We learn from our parents, and unfortunately, they're not the best people to learn from. So this will tell you why we get upset, how to handle upsets, how human beings work, letting go of the past, forgiveness, creating a brand new future. It's got a lot of beautiful content, and it's easy to read. There's no fluff. It's straight to the point.
and where can we get that book?
You can get it on Amazon. It's on Audible, and you can get a Kindle version too.
Oh, great. It's called Immediate Happiness. So
And
you
there
just
is,
go to Amazon, or yeah, and you can get it. And let's see. Okay. Uh Margaret says, "Thank you, Anil. It would be nice to connect with you." So Margaret, I put how you could connect with him. Let me come back out here.
yeah,
Um
my email is anil@meetanil.com.
okay, so that's Anil at meetanil.com. And she also says, I can't even talk. Interesting conversation. And she would like to continue this conversation with you.
Yeah, beautiful. Just reach
Anil,
out to me.
okay, all right. And the time has flown by.
Wow.
Right. Wow. And I really want to thank you um, for this episode. It has been very enlightening, and it was great that my husband was sitting right over here so he could hear everything. But yeah, this has really been great. And as Margaret says, yes, Margaret, it's time to go to sleep. It's 2 a.m. in Scotland. And thank you, Margaret, for just being a part of this episode and offering and being transparent. And everyone else who I can see, everybody I can't see, but Kimberly and Lori and Maxine, those are the ones who I can see. Thank you all for just being on this particular episode, and what you should do, or what I, no, not should do, but if you know of any, and I know you do, any women, married, single, have them to watch this show, and have them to reach out to Anil at www.meetanil.com. So again, Anil, thank you so much, and hope to see you at. Are you going to be at a future Fab event, Dr. Fab
I, I
event?
should I should be at all of them. I couldn't make the last one as I was in South Africa, but absolutely would love to. And obviously, you're going to be. I think you're going to be a contributor in the book too.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting my chapter together. Yes, I will be collaborating with Dr. Anil on a book. We haven't gotten the title yet, right?
We have no time yet, but I'll book a call next week and we can curate a title.
Okay. Well, thank you again, and you be safe in Florida.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
All right. Bye bye. Good night. Good night. Wow, that was amazing. I see something else. Okay, Margaret says night night. So thank you all for really being a part of this particular episode. I thought it was amazing. That's me. And very informative. So, ladies, remember that formula. Okay? Alrighty. So I will see you again next week on Relationship Matters TV. Remember, there are all kinds of relationships. There are all kinds of relationship matters. Life is about relationships. So I will see you again. And please, as I said in the beginning, send your prayers and donations to the people in Florida. I think probably the best bet is to go through Red Cross. All right. See you again next week. So now I just got to find my closing and I'll be fine. Okay. Here it is. Bye bye. See you next week.